Dawn spreads cold and gray over a vast plain, strewn with broken gear and silent shapes. Takezo lies half-propped among the debris, staring at the empty sky, exhausted and hollow. Dirt and dried stains mark his face. His eyes blink slowly, showing shame more than triumph. The battlefield's silence feels like an accusation. From the haze, Matahachi staggers into view, limping and breathless, relief and sorrow on his face. He stops beside Takezo and searches for words that do not come easily. Their exchange is quiet, mostly gestures and ragged breaths. Each movement speaks of loss and the thin comfort of survival. Neither man celebrates, both simply breathe. The camera of the mind sweeps across the ruined plain, discarded helmets, broken spears, upturned carts, small markers of a vast cost. The scale of the day presses down on them. They haul themselves to their feet and begin to walk, moving away from the field with heavy, uncertain steps. Their shadows are long and reluctant. The road leads through a village, its houses charred and empty, carts overturned and half-burned. Ash drifts like slow rain, and the two strangers pass with bowed heads. Matahachi wrings a cloth between his hands, mouthing apologies to people he cannot see. His gestures are small and full of regret. Takezo listens with a hard profile. His jaw is set and his face is unreadable. He keeps his thoughts folded inward like a blade sheathed. A discarded sword kip glints in muddy water, a small shard of brightness in the ruin. For a moment, the world seems almost ordinary again. Villagers peer from shuttered doorways, cautious and wary of the ragged pair moving through their streets. Suspicion sits like an extra garment. They cross a shallow stream. The water steals heat from their tired feet, and the simple task of moving through it feels like labor. Ripples fall away from their passage. A soft, blurred memory flashes through Matahachi's face, a suggestion of a waiting figure, a door left open for him in the past. The thought is brief and pained. For a heartbeat, Takezo's mouth curves into something like a smile, fragile and quickly gone. The expression vanishes as the road lengthens. A roadside shrine lies toppled, prayer papers scattered and fluttering. The sight feels like a private indictment against the chaos of war. At the forest's edge, long tree shadows reach out as if to hold them back. The world grows quieter and more watchful beneath the boughs. They pause on a ridge as twilight gathers, silhouettes cutting the horizon. The sky swallows the last of the light, and a hush settles down. A smoldering camp offers a small warmth. Takezo kneels to coax embers into a tiny hearth. For a moment, they share the comfort of a small fire. Mud clings to their boots as they step onward. Each heavy footfall sets the rhythm for their tired march. The cadence feels like a heartbeat. Roots and gnarled paths funnel them into the forest. Darkness gathers and sound tightens into a narrow seam. The trees lean in like listeners. They stop and listen. The woods answer with small animal sounds and the whisper of leaves. Tension coils in the space between one breath and the next. Moonlight sifts through the canopy and paints shifting patches on their faces. The moving light seems almost like another presence watching them. A sudden rustle in the undergrowth makes them freeze. Something moves close by. The air sharpens with the prickle of danger. Between the trunks, a dark silhouette slips, its shape suggesting a weapon, but offering no details. The threat is implied and immediate. Matahachi flinches and stumbles. Fear makes his limbs clumsy and his voice small. He backs away, off balance and vulnerable. Takezo explodes forward with animal speed, his movement violent and precise. He becomes the protector without thought, simply reacting. A blunt collision stuns one attacker and sends him reeling into a tree. The force of it rearranges the small world around them. The moment is loud with impact. A rock arcs from Takezo's hand and strikes a target out of frame. The motion is sharp and decisive. Improvisation becomes survival. A fallen branch becomes a makeshift staff in Takezo's grip, pushing an assailant back with authority. He uses the forest as a resource. A dark stain marks a tree where a struggle took place. It is a quiet record of what occurred without explicit detail. The sign holds a story. The dazed eyes of a stunned attacker close slowly as he slumps on the ground. The human cost shows in small gestures. The scene softens into stillness. From shadow steps a composed, practiced fighter, his posture precise and measured. He differs from the others. His movements promise skill. The two men circle one another in a small ring of leaves. Quiet hangs between them like a held breath. The moment feels inevitable. A blade flashes in the moonlight, a thin, bright line in a dark world. It cuts the silence with intent. Parry and miss follow in quick succession. Technique meets raw force in a spray of motion. The exchange is tight and sharp. A decisive movement ends the duel. The skilled opponent collapses, and the air snaps back into quiet. The conclusion is sudden and unornamented. The clearing returns to stillness. Only the rustle of leaves and their steady breathing remain. Night reclaims its hush. Takezo collapses entirely, exhaustion overtaking him as his limbs go slack. He lies still, fragile as paper. Takezo kneels and supports his friend's head, showing a rough tenderness no words could convey. For a moment, they are simply human again. Takezo looks up at the pale moon and studies the empty sky, a reflective pause that hints at inner calculations. He collects himself. He decides to look for help, his posture hardening into purpose. The weight of responsibility settles on his shoulders. Walking alone into the open plain, Takezo carries the burden of both men and the memory of the night. The wind seems to test him. A wave of nausea washes over him. The stench and memory of the battlefield press in. His body responds before his pride does. He wommets into the muddy earth, a private and humiliating reaction that strips away any romantic veneer. The act is brief and unornamented. He wipes his mouth with a trembling hand, fingers smudged with dirt and faint stains. The small gesture grounds him. Takezo's gaze sharpens as he senses movement beyond a low mound. The hunter returns to his senses. Eyes narrow, muscles coil. A young woman crouched among the fallen watches him calmly, her presence unexpected and silent. She exerts no command, she simply observes. Her face is composed and curious. Tiny highlights catch in her steady eyes. She gives nothing away. They hold each other's gaze across the ruined field. The moment weighs heavy with unasked questions. Night presses close around them. Cautious but curious, Takezo steps forward, each movement measured and deliberate. He approaches on a blade's edge between threat and inquiry. The woman remains seated. She only tilts her head slightly in recognition. Her stillness reads almost like an invitation. In the background, Matahachi stirs and murmurs faintly, a small sound reminder of their fragile needs. The woman reaches for a small object near a fallen figure. The motion is intimate and suggestive of past lives. She handles it with care. Takezo's hand hovers near his sword, then relaxes. He chooses curiosity over immediate violence for the moment. A silent decision shapes the next steps. A single ember or small lamp between them throws warm light on tired faces. The tiny glow creates a fragile human connection. The light is almost sacred. A soft, non-specific memory of the woman tending a household altar flashes briefly, hinting at a life before the field. The glimpse is gentle and suggestive. She points towards a distant cluster of faint roofs. The village is a promise of shelter. Takezo nods, accepting the direction. They walk in single file along a moonlit path towards the settlement, their silhouettes small against the night. Each step carries wary hope.